Starting something new is hard. I think that's why I'm so passionate about helping people get started investing in real estate, because getting started sometimes is honestly the hardest part. And so recently, I know I've been talking about it a lot on this podcast, but recently I just launched a brand new product, this new mastermind, the Leap Year Mastermind. And this was the first time that I'd ever put it out there. It's a brand new thing where I honestly had no idea if people would actually sign up. And I remember when I first had this idea to launch something around the leap year, right? It was actually earlier this year. I was in the shower and this thought came to me that was just the leap year. I had no idea what that meant, what it was going to be, what it was going to look like. I remember I was already drafting so many different things and ideas of what the leap year could be, but it all was just kind of in my imagination, this imaginary idea that at some point would materialize, and somehow it actually materialized months later. But the thing is, getting to the point where I actually was able to launch this thing and was actually able to fill it is crazy. So just an FYI, so Leap Year, it's a year-long mastermind. This isn't for beginners. It's for people who are really trying to scale their businesses, but do it in alignment and do it in a way that it actually gives them more freedom to travel, to take time off, to spend time with their family, and not just like scaling to 100 doors for the sake of scaling to 100 doors, or scaling to $1 million for the sake of scaling to $1 million. And so I wanted this to be a really small, intimate space. So my goal was to get 5 people into the mastermind. That was my baseline goal. My stretch goal was anywhere from 8 to 10 people. And I was totally happy. Even just with 5, I was so content with this new product that I was launching. But there was so much doubt and nerves around this product because it was the first time I was actually ever launching this thing, and the first time that I was trying this brand new thing. I remember I had those same feelings when I was just getting started investing in real estate, and it was the first time that I was buying an investment property, where I'm just doubting every single thing in my head. But we ended up getting 8 people, 8 unbelievably aligned people, and I'm honestly so freaking stoked to get started with everyone this week, which is so crazy. But what I realized is I really wanted to go over the 5 points that help when it comes to starting something new, that help you break through and believe in yourself and actually follow through and hit your goals. Because when it comes to launching something new, you're gonna be nervous. The nerves are gonna be there. The self-sabotage is gonna be there. You're gonna get to points where you're like, I don't know if I can do this. Maybe this isn't for me, right? I remember earlier this year, I had 2 people, or actually I had 1 person in the leap year. She joined way before I'd even said it on the podcast or said it on my YouTube channel or said it on social media. She had joined, but I was already starting to question myself. I was like, can I actually do this? Is this actually meant for me? Am I cut out for this? And I started self-sabotaging, being like, maybe I should just not do this, cancel everything. And this is where we really just create stories, right? We come up with these stories inside our brains that are gonna self-sabotage us from actually completing our goals. And it's also normal to feel resistance whenever you're stepping into something bigger. It's normal to feel like you're pushing this giant boulder up the top of the hill to get there. But the thing is remembering that when you get to the top of the hill, on the other side, you are gonna roll right down. You're gonna be able to push that boulder down and it's gonna flow easily. And that's exactly what happened with this mastermind, where at the beginning it felt like I was kind of just resisting and not able, and I would get nervous about if I would actually get any people in the mastermind. And then in less than 2 weeks, filled all of the rest of the spots so easily. But what I had to realize is that before that, I was self-sabotaging. I wasn't choosing to believe that this was possible for me, even though I knew it was super aligned. Hey girl, if you've been dreaming about building generational wealth and living life on your own terms, this one's for you. Now, 5 years ago, I was right where you are, okay? Burnt out, working a corporate engineering job, grinding with no real freedom in sight. Then I bought my first investment property, learned how to live for free, and started making money in my sleep. That one decision changed absolutely everything. I stopped relying on my 9 to 5 and eventually walked away from it for good. And trust me, I don't regret it. Now I'm on a mission to help other people do the same, which is exactly why I created Wanderlust Wealth Academy, a transformational program and community where I teach you how to buy your first or next investment property and live for free in 2025. Now, this community is for 3 kinds of people, okay? okay? If you are stuck in a job that you don't love, secretly dreaming of more freedom, more travel, and more passive income, and you know the corporate ladder isn't it for you, then this is for you. And you know you don't want to be climbing the corporate ladder for the next 10, 20, 30 years, this is for you. Or maybe you're a digital nomad or a travel girly who just wants to build wealth and create stability without giving up your freedom. Or maybe you're a business owner or high earning corporate baddie who just sees the market volatility and knows that it's time to diversify your income. If any of those sound like you and you're making at least $75,000, ideally six figures, and have a minimum of $10,000 that you can put towards a property, then you should apply. Then go ahead and apply for the Wanderlust Wealth Academy. Now, this is going to be a completely free call to see if you're a good fit for us and also for us to see if we're a good fit for you. You can go ahead and apply at oliviatati.com/apply WWA. That's oliviatati.com/apply WWA. Or you can just go ahead and click the link in the show notes. Now, spots are limited. We only take a few new folks a month. So make sure to apply now before there are no spots left, and they go pretty quick. Because my girl, freedom is so much closer than you think. That's why now we're going to go over the 5 things you need to do in order to start something new without fear and without self-sabotage. The first one is choosing faith over fear. Now, there's a difference between when something it feels out of alignment versus when you feel afraid. When something feels out of alignment, you just know deep down in your soul, like this isn't it, right? Like I remember when I was working my corporate job, I just knew that this wasn't it, right? And it's like every single thing you do, you don't even have any motivation to keep going because you know that this isn't actually the path that you want to go down. Versus if you're just afraid. If you're afraid of something going wrong or it not working or it not happening, right? There is a difference there. So the first step is to recognize that difference. Is it being out of alignment or is it just fear? And if it's just fear, that is when you have to choose faith over fear. And so it wasn't until I actually talked to my coach. And so I have a coach for everything. Literally, I just hired now another fitness coach to really help me with my nutrition because it's in moments like these where a coach is so necessary to get you outside of your head and committing to the process and doing the damn thing. It wasn't until I started talking to my coach and being like, no, this is actually aligned. My fear just keeps stopping myself that I'm not good enough or I'm not worthy or that I'm not going to be able to fill the spots. Because the thing about the Leap Year Mastermind, it's like 3 to 4 times more expensive than my other programs. But the price is crazy. Like literally the reason it was so easy to sell is because it was so easy to get people into it because it was so aligned and the value in it is just so insane. And so you have to trust when something feels aligned to go with it, to flow with it, and to recognize that if it's actually meant for you, it is going to happen. You just have to trust. Now that we're actually going into this more, I don't think I'm going to make this podcast as the 5 steps. So this is where, I really don't script my podcast. I'm just talking to you straight up, exactly like what's going through my brains. I have bullet points, but now I'm like, I don't want to do 5 points. I'm just going to tell you how it is. This is where I am so big on alignment. So like, even when it comes to the Leap Year Mastermind, that was like the big major selling point of it. Because the reason why it was so easy to get people into it was because I literally did not have to deal with objections. I would just hop on calls with people and they were like, oh my gosh, this sounds amazing. Let me just quickly check my bank account and I'm in. And I'm like, perfect, amazing. Like, the question was never, oh my gosh, this is too expensive, or oh my gosh, I don't think this is worth it. No, everyone realized and knew that it was worth it, right? And I realized the more that I get into coaching and things like that, the objection that I don't deal with anymore and I don't want to deal with is that this is too expensive. Like, I'm sorry, I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars into myself. And the reason I continue is because I know where value is. And I also know the kind of people that I want to surround myself with, they're constantly investing in themselves. When I look at all of my mentors and coaches, they are always investing in themselves. That is never a question because they want to better themselves. They want to be the best versions of themselves. So the question isn't, so when something is truly aligned, objections just don't dominate the decision making. Because at the end of the day, I'm not here to convince anyone, honestly. Like, you do what you want. Everyone can do what the heck they want. It honestly doesn't change my life in any way, shape, or form. I simply just put products out there, put different services out there. And if you feel cold to join, it's the same thing with Wanderlust Wealth Academy. I'm not going to do like mental gymnastics with you to convince you to join the coaching program, right? No, I'm putting a service out there and I know how valuable it is. We've helped hundreds of people buy their first investment property, right? And you know deep down in your soul if something feels aligned for you. And it's crazy because I've done so many different programs, and every once in a while, like for example, I joined an RV park program years ago. Have I bought an RV? No, but I still do not regret joining that coaching program because I got really great mentors, friends from joining that I would have never had access, and generate multiple millions of dollars in their businesses and have loving relationships and families, and there are people that I want to surround myself with and they make my life better. And that honestly goes back to like every decision that you make, you have to trust that you are making the best decision for yourself. Every single decision that I make, every single dollar that I spend, every single person that I invest into, every single team member that I hire, I always trust that at the end of the day, it always works itself out. At the end of the day, I know that I'm making the best decision for myself. And people always ask me, how am I able to feel so confident? And it's because I simply trust myself and trust my decisions. Because trusting yourself is what truly builds confidence. Trusting yourself and actually following through on what you said you were going to do. And so I said I was going to launch this Leap Year Mastermind. And so if I backed out of it, then yeah, I wouldn't be able to trust myself because I would come back to, well, like last time I didn't follow through. No, just actually follow through. And then you'll be able to trust yourself in the future. When bigger decisions need to be made and bigger problems or bigger like projects to do, you're going to be able to trust yourself because you followed through last time. So you're building your confidence. You're adding drops to your confidence bucket so that eventually it overflows and you don't even question your decisions. Because every time you follow through, you trust yourself more. And you have to be able to flip the what if stories. Because people often get stuck because what if this doesn't work? Or what if everything burns to the ground? Or what if this happens? Like, I don't drive myself crazy doing the what ifs. At the beginning, sometimes, like even with the Leap Year Mastermind, right? At the beginning, I was like, what if no one joins? What if I put the deposit down on the Italy retreat and no one shows up? You can't dwell on the what ifs. Instead, it has to be, well, I'll just figure it out. I'll fill it out some other way. I'll do something else. You have to have conviction around the fact that you are capable of figuring it out. You will figure it out. You will follow through. You will make it work. That is the mindset that you have to have. And if it doesn't work, that's just data. It's not that you failed. It's simply just data for the next time. But you keep going and you try it again in a slightly different way, and it figures itself out. So it's so crazy because I came into this this week with no intention of recording a podcast like this, but I felt like it was so important, especially as we're closing up the Leap Year Mastermind and we're officially getting started with it. Things don't have to be perfect. I didn't have a perfect like launch plan, masterclass, funnel into whatever to have people join the Leap Year Mastermind. I literally just had conversations and posted stuff on my stories. That was it. That was literally my strategy. Was I posted some stuff on my stories, had conversations with people in the DMs, like asked them if it was aligned for them. And if it was, they signed up. That was it. There was no complicated system. It was all about alignment, trust in the process, and trust in myself. Because honestly, the more that you move in faith with yourself, with the universe, the easier it feels and the more magnetic it becomes. Okay, that's it for you today. I hope you like this episode. Don't forget to share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember too, if you are trying to buy your first investment property, Wanderlust Wealth Academy is open right now. We only have a few more spots left available for the rest of the month. So make sure to go to oliviatati.com/apply to book a call and see if it's a good fit for you. Okay, bye fam. Thank you so much for listening to Wanderlust Wealth Show. Now, don't forget to follow the podcast, or if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you love this episode, it would literally mean the world to me if you shared this with a friend or a family member, or literally like anyone off of the street. Like right now, go ahead, share it so you don't forget, or post it on social media and make sure to tag me. I love seeing what you're listening in on and what you resonated with, and I'm just so freaking thankful for you. I'm so freaking excited for you. I love you. And don't forget, life really doesn't have to be hard.